had webs or something that we shied away from to end up going down. And there was a sense somebody smelt or sensed rot and decay, and then we got attacked by some shit, which we managed to beat back, and I think that's where we stopped. Of course, adding a lot more detail in a very vague manner.
Sorry, I had a coffee spillage to deal with, but I could hear the recap.
Okay. Yeah. So, when so in terms of the last two episodes, of course, you were some kind of magical mishap happened in or something happened in the basement of the auction house, while right near the auction beginning, where there was suddenly some kind of a attack. There was chaos. There was a variety of interactions going on. Someone at some point, I believe it was Dyvas himself, threw an anti-magic bomb to disperse whatever was going on. Braegar caught someone out of the corner of his eye who
I think it was Herbie.
belong, but
I think it was Herbie who threw
Herbie.
the anti-magic device.
Okay. If it was not Herbie, it was Dyvas. Yeah. Well, and in general, in the chaos and everyone running and escaping, there was a variety of deaths that occurred. Some of them initiated by your group. Some of them initiated by whoever was involved in creating this zone of darkness, and then the mists came. In a different way than you'd experienced, you felt yourselves falling, and then you landed as if the floor had collapsed in some unknown space that was not the city sewers, with a handful of the upper crust aristocrats who had been taking part of the auction. You were accosted by things from the mists, things that you had seen before, Braegar and Evangeline and Herbie. And Dyvas, I believe, had not, and neither had Tonic. Many of the nobles were slaughtered by the things, whether the vulture, reptile, whatever bats that were, and these horrendous tentacles attached to who knows what, coming out of the crevasses surrounding you. If the aristocrats were not killed by them, they were killed by Braegar, who showed absolutely zero remorse in eliminating them. Some of them ran away into the misty darkness. You eventually tried to get yourselves out, moving through an alien landscape, something that you had never seen before. And you found yourself a bejeweled cat. A cat with earrings and some sort of necklace, and a large, black cat. And for some strange reason, Tonic seemed to be quite good at communicating with this cat. Supposedly the cat promised to lead you out of this place. And you followed it through a strange tunnels, misty tunnels, walls slick with some kind of dripping liquid, moisture, strange smells. The textures of the walls not made by humans. Can't even describe it. It's almost like the carapace of an insect. And afterwards, you lost the cat as you moved through some sort of strange organic doorway from one location to another. You moved through this labyrinth. One attempt at escape led you to a inclined, spiraling hallway that led you to a vast area of webs and a colony of aggressive spiders attempting to burn the webs down. The spiders swarmed towards you, and you ran. Returning back to this strange intersection, you heard a noise off in one of the hallways and found yourself a new wanderer, a Oliver Lighthurt. Someone from de Montlieu somehow trapped down here with you. Out of the blue. Perhaps from the same, somehow related to what happened, maybe not. Still unknown. His tale is that the mists swallowed him. Oliver, I don't remember how much of you spoke about how you ended up being here. Yeah, I don't remember how much
I
you
think
ended
I was
up.
fairly open, but he's. I don't think he's from de Montlieu. He's from
right, yes.
the one to the north,
sorry.
which I'm looking
He's
at my
Lamordia.
backstory to find.
Yeah, he's He's from Lamordia.
Yeah,
yes,
he would
sorry.
have been fairly open about it. He's
Okay.
a bit naive and he's quite young, if I remember. So yeah, he
Okay,
wouldn't
so
have been trying to hide much.
So it seems like Oliver himself was also at the auction, just somehow fell in at a different time, in a different place. It doesn't make any sense, actually. The flow of time.
Just popped in to ask to use the loot.
And your space, your sense of space here is highly distorted. Unfortunately, Oliver had a bit of a confrontation with the group, but that has been smoothed out. Down another pathway, you found evidence of slaughter, because you've been partially noticing the trail of some of the wealthy aristocrats who were at the gala auction with you. They've been left behind clues as to their direction of fleeing. And you followed down to another sort of strange, sort of walls changed. There was a bas relief, sort of artistic engraving in the walls, like some kind of ancient temple telling some supposed story of worship of dark gods, and some kind of doorway. As best you could tell, using your comprehend, someone had the capacity to comprehend languages in an arcane manner. And while you were doing that, you noticed that there was a tumbled down sort of a break in the hallway leading into some chasm with rope bridges leading down into the mists. After some exploration, something came out of that area. Something that Herbie recognized would be some sort of creatures that you had seen down in the labyrinth, down in the catacombs, the creatures that had been working with the Nosferatu vampires, these dog-faced, strange things, dog/pig-faced things leaping about, gibbering and snarling, filled with the stench of rotting flesh. And it came out of the shadows and the mist and attacked you while you were trying to decipher the writings on the walls. I believe that you chased them off. And now you are there in the shadows and in the mist of this place. Confused. You still really don't know where you are or what this means. The cat has suggested some supposed names for this, but doesn't mean anything to you. At least, and only Tonic actually can speak with the cat, who has wandered off as cats do, strangely enough.
Hey, Kai?
Yes.
I remember an instance where we were examining like a wall that had like carvings on them, some sort of like Aztecian style carvings.
Yep.
It showed a depiction of someone being infected with vampirism, or maybe the birth of vampirism.
I mean, it was hard to tell. There seemed to be one of the phrases that you were able to read here is King Ikwashahwal bade that the Mordigian should show our people the rituals of eternal life, that the flesh of the enemy should give us its vital lifeblood. To the people, the flesh is life. The life is flesh. All flesh is life. The ritual of preparation of Mordigian, even that of ancient flesh. And you and some sort of name that sounds like something not pronounceable by a human throat. Open the door, ways the lands of dreams and nightmares, and the people walked through. For is the black gate, the door to all the unseen and the seen world. And so we followed the path of shadows and mists to our new home. Also a note that the script was foul, unnatural, arcane, and toxic, and actually hurt whoever was reading it, who I believe was Dyvas. This was actually partially... Oliver, I'm sorry, Oliver, I couldn't remember. And, this was actually, you had to sort of scrape some of this kind of weird organic insect-like carapith or secretions. It's almost, partially almost like a honeycomb secretion, once you started scraping it away from the walls to kind of uncover more bits of this ancient bas relief, which seemed very out of place. But of course, the floor here, the structure here is different. Underneath this is here in this section, it's like large stone blocks, maybe sandstone. If some of you who are builders like Dyvas, you might recognize it. Matter of fact, I think I mentioned that the structure of this, the shape, the kind of stone, actually the style, it reminds you of ancient ruins found in your lands. But the writing itself, some of the things had these reliefs, or rather these carvings, had worn away. And there were other, right? The writing itself was a strange, very sinuous, unusual language, bizarre organic shapes that were involved in a bas relief. It looked like oddly dressed people, certainly not of Demontliu, certainly not of Lamordia. Some kind of ancient barbarians must have written this.
Right.
So,
it's a little disconcerting.
Really quickly, because I feel like did we add another player character when I got into the little car wreck thing and I couldn't make it?
Yes.
Okay.
Tonic, I'm sorry if you this is Charles. Oliver Kurtz. I'm
Gotcha.
sorry, I guess we
Okay.
didn't formally introduce ourselves or yourselves.
No, it's totally fine. I was like, it sounds like there's another player character, or this might be like a very important NPC. But I'm like, I feel like I hear a new voice.
Yes.
And I didn't know
Charles.
if
Hi. How you doing?
Hello, I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick.
I-
Charles.
I don't know if you were here the last session we played of this campaign, but I am Tonic. I am the bartender. And I'll leave it at that. That's what Tonic is. He's a bartender and nothing else.
Not only a bartender, the bartender. Okay, cool.
He is quite interesting, yes. Okay, that was all I wanted to make sure.
No, you're right.
Sure.
Sorry. Oh, correct.
Charles,
Yeah.
what does Oliver look
James.
like? So that Nick knows.
Whilst I describe that, is there any chance I can get you to put my health bar up? Because I look really healthier than I am, to my mind. But yeah, Nick, Oliver is wearing a long, sort of charcoal grey coat with a lovely fur lining to the lapels. Looks quite well dressed. Has sort of strawberry blonde hair. Young guy, human looking, and carries a cane with a silver top. But as you've been with the party, you'd know that he's not from the milieu. His accent is very much from Lemordian, so kind of German inspired. And he seems a bit naive and is scared of owls when they act weird.
You scared of elves?
Owls.
Oh, owls. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Only when they act weird and just keep looking at him weirdly.
Okay.
And
I
he
guess-
definitely doesn't have 10 gold.
All right. I guess to give a quick description of Tonic is he looks very similar to his profile picture. The only noticeable real difference is that he wears gloves and he has one of those fancy, not fancy, like it's not fancy. He's wearing, I forget what they're called, but he's wearing a particular kind of hat. He's always kind of adjusting it and making sure it's on just right. I think I said his eyes are pretty interesting looking. But that's all kind of really it.
And he's like normal height. Does he look human? Apart from the weird eyes?
Yes, I would say so. He definitely looks human. He is rather tall. He's 6'1". He's lean.
Is that a top hat, or what does the hat look like?
I can't think of the name of it, but it's like
Just
what you
describe
would
it.
see.
Like Frank
It's like a
Sinatra wears?
Hmm?
Like Frank
Actually, let
Sinatra
me-
wears? Sinatra wears?
No. It's like that cap. It's like that cap, but it's very. God damn it! I can't think of the name. I'll put it in Discord.
Golf hat?
Where in a movie would we see it?
What's that one movie? Or that TV show where it's like in England, it's like the gangs and stuff.
Peaky
Peaky
Blinders.
Oh, Peaky Blinders.
That's a
I
newsboy
think-
hat.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is
It's
that what
either
I'm
it's
thinking
called a
about?
cabbie hat or a
Yeah.
newsboy hat. Those are what they're called.
You mean the guys that keep the razor blades in their hats?
Let me see.
Or a
What kind of hat did you say it was again?
Newsboy or
Newsboy.
cabbie? Cabbie or newsboy?
I always think of it as those golfing caps. personally,
Cabbie.
myself.
Yeah.
Cabbie. Yeah, he's wearing a cabbie hat.
Ah, okay.
Like he's very much trying to cover the very top of his head. It's a very nice cabbie hat, and that's what he's wearing. And his hair is very neat and whatever. But he's wearing a cabbie hat.
When I see him constantly adjusting it, I'm thinking, I wonder if, much like my ex-husband, he's ugly under the hat.
He's got lights.
Shade. Nobody gets that fucking joke except for me.
Is it, what's that from then?
In our Sunday campaign, Shay's character went out carousing and inadvertently married someone, and the person she married was gross, so she got him a hat of disguise.
He made him look like Dhampir from Legends of the Fall.
Brilliant.
But that is
Someone look at him, though.
that is Tonic in a little bit of a nutshell. Yeah, I guess in a way he does kind of resemble like a bartendery newsboy, like kind of. I don't know. He's very suave too. he looks very charismatic, but also cautious. He definitely wants to know more about you, but he doesn't want you to know anything about him. Kind of feel, and that's all I'll say on that. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, so I guess he is a bit like Thomas Shelby then, like the lead from Peaky Blinders, right?
Yeah, I have yet to watch one episode of that show, even though I want to. I just never have the time. It looks like a really good show, and I would be definitely into it.
It's so good.
Great actors in it.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
Cillian Murphy is amazing in it, I have to say.
Underrated actor too, by the way. Underrated.
Cillian Murphy?
I
No, is Cillian Murphy the underrated actor?
The one who is the main character of that show.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, it's very, like he's just a really good actor.
The Scarecrow.
Yep.
Yeah, he was also in the what was that one? Is it Inception?
Was he in it? Inception?
Yeah, he was the guy they went into his dreams about.
Oh, at the beginning. Yes, yes. You're right.
Anyway,
You're right.
so I wasn't really here last session, so I'll kind of take a seat back and try to pick up on the feelers in case somebody wants to kind of lead off with what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So at this moment, right? Let's say a couple of minutes have passed after you've taken a time to catch your breath after the aggression of these dog pig stings that came out of the darkness, the things that you've seen before in the catacombs beneath de Montlieu. Although these are
What
not.
were they? What were those things? If those are the undead I am supposed to fight, I do not like them.
Tom's gonna say it's nothing I've ever seen before, so I'm not entirely sure. All I know is it was trying to kill me, and therefore I was gonna kill it.
Yeah. So do we have any idea how to be not underground anymore?
Well, it seems like our guide mysteriously disappeared. And I'm gonna say Tonic kind of squints into the fog, and I guess you all would. I guess you all would kind of hear him meow or like hiss or do something of that nature to call out to see if he can hear anything back.
Gesundheit.
And he's gonna say thank you, but I'm assuming he doesn't hear anything.
Not at the moment.
And say, well, our guide is not present, so we can either stay here or keep walking.
Back the way we came, or into the dark, scary cavern?
Well, we had the upstairs and we have the downstairs.
Well, if we go back the way we came, we know there's no way getting out, so I vote we go forward.
Forward up?
I would say up. Down was somewhat terrifying, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Well, upwards, you know that there was some kind of mega colony of spiders, or you must have slaughtered many of them. And they weren't giant spiders; they were just spiders, relatively largest spiders, but not anything unnaturally large. So there was just a huge concentration of them. The entire hallway had been spread with webs, and you cast firebolts and you set it on fire. It's just the spiders started coming towards you, and you ran off as you burned them and fled. You definitely know that, well, there is some structures, right? There are built structures in the area that Oliver explored, from which these things must have come from. There were rope bridges leading down deep into some kind of chasm. It looks like tumbled stones, like if something had either collapsed or almost like fallen through and crashed. Huge stone blocks, 2 meters by 2 meters, a meter and a half, tumbled down. You could sort of see that, right?
This is
going
kind of
down into the
this is just past the, not hieroglyphics, but you know what I mean, the writings
Yes.
that we found, right?
It
Like
exactly
literally
is. Yeah, just past
up
where you
there.
are. Yeah, it's just past where you are, right? Another, let's say, 50 meters.
And then back where we came, there's the upstairs downstairs option, right?
Back where you came. This is actually heading downstairs. If you were going to go back to that original intersection where they found you, there is upstairs was actually spiraling towards where you ended up meeting the spiders, and then there's a hole, and then there is a hallway where you fell down. Oliver, where you appeared, it was that's unexplored. But the fact was that a part of the reason you came in this direction, which is a fair walk from the intersection where you were found, is that it looked like the aristocrats or the other individuals, or some individuals from the auction house, must have fled this way. There was ripped clothing and a broken shoe that was down this hallway. On the other hand, at some point earlier on, you did find the slaughtered bodies. At least one, or the evidence of something having eaten one of these aristocrats who fled in panic. It was. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I thought you carried.
No, I was going to say it. I think from the analysis of Braegar, it seemed that something had attacked them from above and pulled one of them up the walls.
So, do we go back to the intersection to explore near the creepy place where the people got attacked from above? Or do we go down here into what could possibly be the cradle of an undead race? Oh my god. And he sort of wipes his brow and sits down.
Let's see. I vote the cradle.
Cradle makes sense. I'm not too keen to have a closer look at these horrid creatures.
We are not here to exterminate the undead. We are trying to escape.
Not everybody at once. I'm gonna say, okay, well, we can go back to I think it was the where everybody was getting pulled up. Correct?
I believe that's where the intersection was. Miss Eve, what do you think? Still on the floor, shaking. Shay?
What?
What do you think you guys do?
We have the chasm by the writing, which could very well be the cradle of vampirism, the birthplace, or we can go back to the, which is obviously bad and dangerous, or we could go back to the intersection where death from above came and took the bodies that we found and ripped it to shreds, which is also dangerous. So those are the two options we are debating.
And neither one of those options sound good.
I know, right? It's not great.
I mean, I guess I take my chances with the vampires.
Then I will stay right
I
here.
kind of pull out my. Oh wait, I don't have a dagger. Never mind. I don't have any weapons. Shit. I make a motion with my hand, and I'm like, and I point around on the ground like, find a stick.
You need a dagger? I have two.
I would love a dagger. Thank you. I didn't bring any weapons to the auction because they told me that we would be thoroughly checked, and I didn't want to draw attention.
I didn't think I was in the auction apart from just a minute ago. So why is that all changed immediately? That's weird. Anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
I think I just wandered into the auction to see if they'd let me use the loo. What happened, Kai? Because I assumed I was walking the streets nearby or something.
Did I misremember something? I must have.
I don't think we specified that I was in the auction. Is the only thing I remember. I thought I would have just assumed I was walking the streets nearby or something. But obviously, if that doesn't make sense,
it's maybe it's someone. Oh, right. I'm sorry. I think I'm mixing your idea up with Tonic's idea.
So I've still got my backpack, which I'm looking for somewhere to lay down. Finally,
maybe correct. Yeah, I have to double check. It may be that we just said that you were caught in the mists. So all right. What is the vote of Dyvas? Does Dyvas think should happen?
No, I'm not inclined to go up into the spider webs. Vampires, or whatever it is you call vampires, don't excite me, but we can't stay here, so there is that. My only preference is not to go towards the things that ate the other people. That does not sound like a smart thing to do.
I don't care. Just someone else choose other than me.
While you guys are talking, could everyone roll me a DC 10 Constitution check?
Save? Save, Kai, or check?
DC save. I always say the same. I always constantly cannot get the check versus save thing right. It comes out of my mouth. I never.
In all teeth.
I think that 22 was probably me not having rolled the dice for nearly a month. From here is all downhill.
That's good. And, I'll roll it.
Adam, you haven't played any other D&D?
No, actually.
I'm not either.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys do that. I play in 5 other campaigns.
See, no, I get into a campaign and I get into a storyline, and those are the storylines I want to play. I'm in 2 campaigns and I don't want to play anything else. I want my main storyline.
Yeah, I had a couple going in the week, but I think Friday was my most consistent one. Then it just so happened that over this month, many of those sort of have taken hiatuses because of the situation in Singapore at the moment. So, that's just what it is.
Oh shit, well, one more week, Adam.
Looking forward to it.
you feel just a wave of nausea come over you. And momentarily, fuzzy-headed, sort of sick. And it goes away. You're kind of able to shake it off without much
Right.
fanfare.
Braegar shoves his finger in his throat and throws up.
All right.
What's that? That is. Oh! And I get up from the ground. That is disgusting.
I felt it coming on. I wanted to induce it.
Goodness me.
And-
I felt a bit sick too, though, I have to say.
It's this place. We have to fucking leave.
Herbie,
Yes.
Go lead the way.
Herbie falls back against the wall, and slumps down. Almost like he's half fainting. And you see his eyes roll back into his head. So you only see the whites of his eyes, and he's moaning. And he starts grabbing.
Herbie!
Does he usually do that?
I grab him and I start shaking him violently.
Wait, let me see what I can do. Can I see if this is something that lesser restoration might take care of? Could this be blinded, poisoned or paralyzed? Or diseased?
Okay. Well, he's
Like a medicine check or something.
slightly foaming at the mouth, almost like he's having a slight, like a type of epileptic seizure. And if you grab him, if that's what you're trying to do, and trying to control him, Herbie's sort of shaking all over the place. He's starting to sweat.
So would I recognize whether that might be a disease or a poison?
It could. I mean, it could be a disease. You don't know. I mean, you could roll a medicine check, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay. At the top, it looks like it could be a medical condition, like he's suddenly having a stroke or something. But you're not really sure because you open up his shirt, maybe roll up his sleeves because he's grabbing his arm, and just right before your eyes, as you're doing that, Oliver, you see that. There are welts suddenly start appearing all up his arm.
Oh shit! It's his disease. Never been.
I cast Lesser Restoration. Here, little man, see if this helps. And silver light wraps itself around my hand, my gloved hands, and I place it on his arm where the welts are. Remember, gloved hands. And cast Lesser Restoration. That's it.
Could you roll me a spell burnout, please?
Yes.
Make that spell burnout on your sheet a 1d10, not a 1d12.
It was already 1d10 actually.
Okay, then roll with the 1d, then roll a 1d10.
Okay.
Okay,
Or,
good.
I can't remember how this works.
You feel your power, right, coming through you. And there's an edge of it that seems a little out of control, right? There's something strange. There's a flavor. It's like a synesthesia that you get, right? A flavor in the back of your mouth, a foul, oily taste. And hear a whisper, susurration, as you cast your spell. And you get a chill down your spine. You're not sure why. But you're able to kind of control the magic, and you cast it, your spell. So the light, your light is not as bright or white as normal. There's something, flecks of something else. You can see it, like yellow or green. It glows over the areas where your hand is casting. You've opened up his shirt, and you see these welts grown up on all over his chest too. They're like little. They one of them bursts like a weeping sore, and some sort of strange pus starts coming out. But your lesser restoration does not make that go away.
just about managed to not throw up and start spitting on the floor. That has not helped, and something was interfering with my powers there. This place is fucked. Excuse my Demon Louise.
Anyone else want to do something?
I'm looking through my stuff now.
Oliver is highly shocked.
I grab Herbie,
Oliver.
throw him over my shoulder, and continue walking to the intersection.
Let's go. Quicker. We gotta get him out of here.
Follow.
You do not want me to put him out of his misery.
No, I enjoy when he's miserable.
All right.
I say to Eve, your friends are slightly callous, it seems to me.
Who do you say that to?
Eve.
Oh.
Because Oliver believes that Eve is someone that he needs to talk to.
And I whisper something back to him, but I'm actually going to whisper it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oliver, you are able to stand strong in the face of not only experiencing something going awry with your mystical powers, but the totality of this place being focused on this halfling's sudden bodily corruption. There's a foulness here that you cannot put your finger on, but it is a foulness that is utterly otherworldly and out of your depth.
Yeah, I can definitely. He's definitely out of his depth, I'd say. But quickly, where's the horror chart? Because I don't know what am I supposed to do something?
No. You passed your.
Just leave. Oh, you just leave it as it was. Okay.
Yeah. I'm just narrating your general feeling, but there's no mechanical effects from that roll.
Tonic is going to say, "Can we please get the hell out of here?"
Oh yeah, I'm following. This is happening as we're walking, because I'm following Braegar with Eve.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make a note. Herbie has a strange ash. Swords spread around.
I recall that this little man was somewhat ill when I first joined your troop. He seems quite ill of constitution, isn't he?
I mean, it very well may be.
He seems,
you.
He seems to be prone to afflictions.
Yes.
He has the ill demeanor. I guess now he's got ill disposition.
I mean, he is.
Oliver is shocked by talking about it like this.
What did Herbie catch from the prostitute? Was it the clap or crabs?
Yeah, it
Syphilis.
was definitely
Syphilis?
whatever it was. Even if
Yeah.
it was more serious, he caught crabs with it. Because why not?
Yeah. It started with crabs, but then it morphed into some low level syphilis.
Gonorrhea or something. Yeah.
Yeah, Herbie had some bad luck.
So could
makes
this
bad
be his
choices.
venereal disease manifesting into something greater? Or did we take care of that disease?
That's what I thought
Well-
too.
Herbie, yeah, I mean, but we do have those disease rules. So Herbie should be in remission. Passes. I mean, so he was not feeling, he hasn't been suffering from any of the symptoms lately. Whatever this is, I mean, you've never who has medicine?
I do.
believe
I
it was
do.
you,
I'm
Oliver?
very
I do.
primitive, but yeah.
I mean, I
Okay,
can
well,
Proficient.
do medicine checks, but like, I
yeah,
Oh no, I'm
can't
not
cure it.
proficient. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I was.
yeah, who's proficient in medicine?
I am.
Anyone? Okay. Yeah, your proficiency in medicine was just that this can't come from merely a venereal disease like this, unless there's something else that Herbie caught.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm proficient in medicine too.
Okay, yeah. So, looking at this, you're not really sure what this is. The rapidity at which the onset of it, right? You could literally saw the boils and sores spread across his body, in real time. At Dyvas, there's a part of me that thinks that, a little voice in your head says, this is what happens when you're a degenerate criminal. And you
Yep,
look at
I think
Herbie.
I've said as much, I think. But, well, all said and done, waiting here does not seem like, again, the smartest thing to do. So into the cradle, shall we go then?
Okay.
No. Fuck that shit. We're walking towards the intersection.
The intersection?
Okay.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm just following whoever has the most followers, or wherever Eve goes, probably actually.
And let's see. All right, so you guys start walking a bit, and the Tonic, out of the corner of your eye, you see a flicker of movement up ahead, up along the wall. The back and forth flicking of a shadowy tail. It's hard to tell if it's material or not. Is that just the flickering of a shadow in the mists or something else? And then you see a glowing set of eyes. Yellow and green.
How far up is it?
Oh, like just 10. What? Like 15 feet, 20 feet.
I'm gonna try to speak to it and basically ask, is there a reason why you're not guiding us anymore, or?
So everyone sees Tonic move up a little bit, and then Tonic starts meowing, or sort of making some noises. Don't make any sense to you. And you don't see what he's talking to, or what he's doing that, but it's somehow up ahead. And then you, after a second, you hear a reply. It is the mewling and meowing of a cat. Now, just for a moment, I want to test something. And it's actually just this, the environmental stuff. So I'm going to try and put some fog on this map, just to see if it's going to work or not.
Whoa, okay, I can see it.
Yeah. Oh wait, was that in the picture
I mean,
before?
like
Sorry, I was
moving,
off screen.
moving fog, right? There should be like
Oh,
fog
yep.
that's
Right.
like
Yep.
like a
The
weather
only thing
effect.
moving on my screen is Adam's character spurting blood from his eye. His ear, actually.
Yep, the fog is drifting upwards to the right.
I'm going to
Up
refresh.
and to the right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but I installed the Temper Monkey stuff, so that actually I guess worked.
Yeah. That's I'm double checking. Yeah. So
Oh, I
if you
did
have,
forget to do that actually.
Yeah, I gotta
Okay,
still
so
do
if
that.
you-
I'll do that now.
if you did install the tamper, so I'm actually just wanted to test, so at least I know. So Dyvas, you did install the tamper monkey stuff, and then
I did.
the effects do actually work. Okay,
Yep,
that's
they do.
something
No, I'm
I
getting.
before,
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to
Though
forget.
I'm getting. Yeah, though I'm getting blood into your fog. Though.
And so back to this, like in the mist, you hear sort of the cat. It disappears. It's funny. You can somehow see its backlit, glowing eyes. I believe. So who has a torch? Right. Someone should have a torch or some light
Yeah.
source.
I
I cast light.
Around. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And
Oh, can
so
you
the
cast on this? I'll
the
cast
light
it,
is
okay.
reflecting. The light must be reflecting from the cat's eyes, but it's strange because it's almost like all you see is the eyes bobbing up and down, and it sort of stop. And it looks like the cat sits up and says, "Wow. Oh, I was busy. I had to get my bearings and find something. Oh, I see you've met some of the neighbors. I can smell that they were near.
Yes, and
Where are you going? Where are you going?
Back to this place called the Intersection.
You could. So you kind of get closer to it, licking its paws. The light's reflecting off the gold and silver earrings that it's wearing. It has this it's a golden necklace encrusted with jewels that it wears. Now that you're closer, you can see it has some strange engravings. Although, of course, the mists suddenly come in and it kind of disappears, and then you blink and the cat's a little further away from where it was before. Sometimes it feels like it's closer. Sometimes it feels like it's farther. Kind of shake your head a bit. Did that just happen? And the cat says, "Well, no. You have to find the map still, and the doorway. The doorway is up ahead."
Can I roll an insight check on this cat?
Yes, of course.
Very wealthy.
Where is it? Did you see my roll?
Oh, yes. I mean, it's difficult. It's a cat, right? And it's a sort of a cat like you've never spoken to before. I mean, nor cats have. Well, anyway. I mean, can you speak to cats? This cat is this thing that is in the shape of a cat is very intelligent, at least by its vocabulary choice. And it is certainly, as far as you can tell, not being completely clear in everything that it says. It's clear from the way that it answers your questions and it says things to you. It's annoyingly cryptic.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to ask pretty much straightforward. Will you lead us there or not?
Well, yes, of course. As I said, going my way.
Okay.
And why wouldn't I want to lead you? You asked for help, didn't you? You do need help, don't you?
I do, but I would like consistent help. Not leaving us without telling at least me where you're going.
Meow. But I saw something I wanted, and so I went to get it. What's wrong with that? Meow. Also, there were other things I need to see. But yes, the doorway and the key and the map. They are somewhere here. We must find them. I can always go through the dream gates. I don't think you can. You need a way home, back to the other side, don't you? Well, such things are buried here. Few knew how to find them, like I said. I said I will help you. And one day you will help me. When I need it. Meow.
Okay then. So lead on.
Come. It is this way. You will need to make discourse
All
with
right,
those who live below. You will need to make discourse with the peoples of Mordition.
Mordition
Mordigian.
or Digian?
Meow. For it is those of Mordigian who guard the gate. But yet you will need to find the key.
What
They
is the
once
key?
had the
What am I
key
looking for? Oh wait, I
on the
can't type.
gate. You cannot talk to cats, Evangeline.
I tried. I was like meow meow meow.
Yeah.
I look
I don't know what I
very-
said. I might have offended.
I'm about to say I look very insulted. I'm gonna say okay. Well, I'm gonna ask, take us to the city of these gate guardians, and we'll see about this key. I'm then going to relay that kind of information, basically saying that our guide has returned, and he's saying that the only way for us to get out is to go through the dream gate, but we need a key and a map to do so. And the dream gate is guarded by, I'm assuming that's the cradle, is actually near the cradle, which is down further, and it's guarded by a certain denizens of people. It's probably at some point we're gonna have to make contact, or at least scout it out to see if they can actually help us, or if they'll be hostile. So what do you guys kind of want to do? I recommend we follow the cat to the gate. That way we at least know where the gate is.
That sounds like an intelligent thing to do.
Anyone else want to add?
Just
Or
look at Eve.
Hmm?
Oliver just looks at Eve like, I don't know.
I don't know. You and the cat are leading the way. I don't know.
well, if everybody's comfortable with that, I'm gonna say to the cat, lead on.
Let's go. Let's get out of here.
I'm gonna look at my companions and say, be ready for anything.
So the cat has told you that it's going to show us the exit. It's as simple as that.
I guess I'm assuming we're walking at this point, and I'm gonna say, I'm actually gonna do a chuckle and say, no cat is ever that straightforward.
So what So what mousetraps do we have to leap over?
That one I don't know. I know we need to find a key, a map, and the door. He's leading us to the door. and at some point he expects us, or at least me, to return the favor of helping him. So,
And do you know what the return favor might be?
no. It could be as simple as helping him catch a mouse, or it could be something much more complicated.
Wait. We
I will,
we owe him a favor? I don't want to owe a magical cat a favor. That seems like folly.
Yeah, I will grab Tonic by the shoulder and spin him around and look him square in the face now, say, be careful of those. And I point to my one completely obscured monocle and say, the price for these things sometimes is a lot more, shall we say, costly than what you think you're agreeing to. You do not know what I paid for my bargain.
I'm gonna say Tonic's gonna shrug your hand off of him, be like, "Look, I can take care of myself, and I know cats pretty well, so."
No need to be catty about it.
I squint at him and I sneer and I'm like, well, that was very rude. And I
Sorry,
continue
it
to
was
press
just a joke to lighten the eldritch horror mood. Haha, didn't work, I see. Sorry.
I would rather no one make any cat-related puns.
So you made the deal so you owe us a favor, right? That's how it works.
More or less.
Smashing. I'm willing to follow, of course.
And this cat with the question mark suddenly appears more solidly out of the misty darkness and sachets past all of you. The cat, I said, is midnight black. It is bejeweled and wearing both rings in its ears, rings along its paws like bracelets, and a elaborate bejeweled golden collar. And it walks past all of you. It looks at all of you as it walks past you. Its eyes glowing phosphorescently green and yellow. You could swear that they flare in the light, but that must just be the flickering of the light versus the fog as its tail
Do those
swishes.
eyes have the same color as my Lesser Restoration spell was changed to when I tried to heal Herbie? Or is it a different color?
It's a different. I mean, this is the kind of cat's eye green with yellow. Like what your spell was almost like a sickly green. I mean, it's not completely dissimilar, but
I don't make a connection between the two.
Doesn't seem. I mean, not necessarily obvious. Yeah, it's not a certain direct match. The colors that ran through your spell were like the colors of gangrene and pus.
Nice.
And so the cat disappears. Well, it disappears. As you can see its tail swishing up ahead of you. Come now. Follow. It stops. Your friend, he has suffered corruption. You can smell it.
Oh.
Oh, I forgot. That happens here. The longer you stay, the more it will become. The more it will engulf him and you.
Then let's get moving.
Hurry. Off it goes. All right. And so we'll walk towards the edge of, or rather the end of this hallway, this massive hallway, as it disappears. Well, the light allows you to sort of see near the ceiling, but it disappears due to the mist, right? So the mist, of course, is going to limit your actual capacity for vision until you get to what Oliver already saw, which was a set of basically rope and wood bridges. Right, a bridge that is going down into the mist-filled darkness.
Now we're up close. Do they look stand-on worthy?
The rope looks like a simple hemp rough. The wood is covered in some sort of strange fungal growths. It looks old.
And we have to cross this rope bridge.
The
I
cat
look at
is
the cat.
walking off into the shadowy distance along the rope bridge.
One at a time.
All right.
Who's the heaviest? Who's the heaviest?
189 pounds, roughly.
And that's including your equipment and everything?
Plus equipment. So, plus dagger, sling, crystal, backpack. I've got water skin with 2 pints in it. Crowbar. None of the actual weights are here. They're just quantities.
Let's see.
Fairly slight time, less than. It's right there next to the equipment shelves. It says weight.
Where?
Right
It's a
next to
little.
the
It's a
list of
little.
equipment.
It's a little box on the right-hand side below your money. Under
it says current-
equipment.
Yeah, it says current weight.
Mine says inventory slots, not weight. In that box.
Ah, straight.
Let me
Okay.
open your...
Anyway,
Okay.
You might have to
so I'm
click an
about-
option or something.
yeah,
let's say
I'm.
you're 200 pounds for now, right?
Yeah, I'm about 200 pounds as
Oh,
well.
okay, take a look at
I'm a little less than 200 pounds.
I'm alone about 300 pounds with my equipment and shit, and I've got
Jeez.
Herbie, so I'm probably
first, I
closer
guess.
to 400. I should be last because if the bridge breaks under me, then
Look,
Would you
we're
like
wasting.
us to take the little man?
Can he not
Look.
walk?
he cannot.
He's unconscious.
Mm.
Right, I'll go first. I'll just walk across. I'm scared, but I'm not sure yet.
Is Eve strong enough to carry Herbie?
And Herbie
he's
is what, 60
Teeny
pounds?
weeny. Yeah.
I might be able to. What strength would I need?
Say something probably above
I mean-
a 10.
I got a 14.
Oh, you can
Oh,
carry
wow.
Herbie.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
Probably
strong.
juggle it.
I mean, well, you do have advanced, enhanced vampire strength, essentially, right? So, yeah, makes sense. You
What?
should be able to carry
I do not.
Roll a deception check.
I am a normal human.
Yeah. So this, attractive, a very, very attractive woman. I mean, you really, she looks of normal height. She just, picks up Herbie and puts him across her shoulders. I mean, 'cause she's fitter than you realized.
Right.
Certainly no shrinking violet.
I poke
far
her
as you can
bicep. Impressive, Eve.
Oh, wait. The weight.
So,
He's light as a feather.
I'm gonna. I think Tonic is gonna say to himself. He's gonna kind of think, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only person here with secrets. I guess if she makes it across the bridge, I think Tonic will go ahead and gracefully walk across the bridge as well.
okay, you as you creak across it, right? The bridge sort of swings over some sort of
Mm-hmm.
chasm. You can't really tell how far down it is beneath the bridge.
Kai, how far across the bridge is it?
Yeah, I'd say it's 30 feet.
Does anybody have rope?
Yes, I
I'm about to
have.
say I have a lot of things, but I don't have rope.
It's quite lucky I fell through as a roof, actually. Here, have some rope.
So maybe we should let Eve, since she went first, have the rope, and then somebody on this end hold on to the rope, just in case the bridge goes.
Sounds good. Good plan.
So I will make a note that as you cross the bridge, Eve, you will realize that some of the wood, these looks like they're ancient wooden planks encrusted with fungal growths, moss and lichen. That part of the cross steps, and instead of wood, you see bones. They are lashed together human leg bones.
Oh shit. That's not good. I want to look for something on the other side to secure the rope to. Maybe like the post for the bridge.
Yes. I mean, you get to the other side, and there is a stone landing. Yeah, this bridge has been built upon what looks like it might have once been some sort of partial stairway or something. Right? But it's at an odd angle, so now it's almost like an incline. It's broken and tumbled, like pieces of it have fallen away, like it's crumbling. And on either edge, it is just a sheer drop. You don't know how far down. Your feet kick a pebble down, and you hear it bouncing off some stone and then just silently disappearing into the sea of mist beneath you. On the others, and sort of do you have a light with you?
Well, I've got lights.
Yeah. Okay. So
I've got light on my cane on the other side. But if
I
you
have
ask-
my
Right.
normal human dark vision. Wink, wink.
yeah, but remember, we don't
I
we
don't
don't
feel
it's not the 5e. It's not the 5e vision. It's the 3.5 low light vision. In other words, you cannot see in absolute darkness. You can just see twice as far, right? So the range of low light of a dim light is twice as far, and the range, and the range of a bright light is twice as far. So it's a little hard to see. You have the light coming from the other side, but it's obscured by the mists. Right, it's 30 feet, so you can sort of see this.
I can offer to cast it on, I don't know, Herbie, and then cast it on different people as they go across.
If that's what you wish to do.
If they asked me for it, I wouldn't be too scared to think of it. But if someone's going across and they think, oh shit, I can't see bugger all, and they can see me with a light spell on my cape, then yeah,
but
I would.
That didn't happen. And so
now.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just saying, Shay, you can kind of see, right, from the dim light that's reaching through the obscured fog. But this is now, everything's like lightly obscured, minimum, because of the fog here that's rolling through. And so you hear movement off behind you, right, on the other side of wherever this stone landing is. And
oh no.
Slightly echoing, but you don't know what it is. It sounds like those things that attacked you in the hallway, those dog, pig, shambling, gibbering things. Okay.
So, I'm assuming that I can make my way across.
Shay, was Eve not going to tie the?
Yes, yeah, I'm gonna tie the rope to.
Okay, you can
something
what I would say is that the ropes for the bridge are wound around what looks like the broken bottom of some columns, or some kind of stone outcropping. So then this extra rope now you can tie to the in the same location. Please roll me a sleight of hand. Okay. That was just to double check the strength of the rope. Yeah. Excellent. All right. What's going to happen? Who's next?
I would see if I can make my way across the bridge.
Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, you start making your way across the bridge. It sways a bit. You can hear the wood creaking under you as you make your way across. At one point, you step and one of the planks cracks underneath your weight.
Does it fall?
I mean, you're still holding on to the ropes, so you're not going to fall through. There's other planks, right? So you stumble a little bit. Okay. And then your foot lands on one of... You also realize these sort of lashed together femur or leg bones or arm bones. You're not too sure, but they're long. You catch your balance, and you continue to make your way across. Here and there, you hear the rotting wood crack a bit.
Go
you make... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And you make it to the other side.
Which piece of wood cracked? Do I know?
I mean, I'd say there's a piece of wood that cracked. You weren't counting necessarily, but there's one of these cross timbers that cracked probably about a quarter of the way through, right at the beginning. And then you heard other, like that one sort of broke through. It broke, it fell, or it's kind of just hanging. It's gone. And then you just heard probably about another 4. I mean, not break or snap, but creak and crack underneath your weight as you stepped on them.
Is there any way that I can cast mending on the bridge itself? I know I can mending only goes so far. Like it's a touch. Never mind. I don't think it would work the way I'm thinking about it. I would have to cast that the whole way across.
Yeah.
It takes a minute.
You could.
Yeah.
And the one that's fully broken, you could definitely mend, but that sounds like a mass mending.
Yeah.
You have to cast multiple times. I mean, I'm sure there's a sort of volume limitation mending. I don't know off the top of my head, but you'd have to consider what volume of the bridge you'd need to fix. As long as a break or tear is no longer than 1 foot in any dimension, a single break or tear in an object you touch. Yeah, so I have a feeling it's limited in size.
Maybe the planks individually, but not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, there's just no way, yeah.
Well, Oliver will look around and realise he's been left on the other side with the man who doesn't like him because of Owlgate and the callous scientist type bloke. I'll go next. Just puts his hand on either side, shaking. Recast the light spell on his brooch rather than his cane, which he'll put back in his pack, or sticking out of his pack, and just go. Oh, this could be slightly ropey. Oh shit! And then goes for it gently, but yeah.
Okay. You start making your way across the bridge. In this case, I am going to ask you to a DC 10 dexterity check. Dexterity save. Sorry, I keep on the check and a save is like this weird mental glitch I have. Dexterity save.
Look at me. Yeah.
Okay,
17.
I didn't pop up for me. What'd you get?
17.
Okay, yeah, no, I see it now. It popped up. A little bit of a delay. Yeah, absolutely no problem. I mean, you're making your way across, and unfortunately, you're about halfway across at the bottom of the bridge when some of the rope on the left-hand side starts to. You can see it like the hemp starts unwinding. Feel it jerk, right? It like snaps and pulls apart a little bit. So some of the different intertwined
Scheiße.
snaps, and it throws you off balance. This whole thing starts swinging a little bit, and you step forward, and your foot goes and definitely cracks through one of the planks.
What?
You step forward once, twice again, off. As you catch your weight, your foot cracks 1, 2. And you end up.
Can I
breaking the plank?
No, I can't do that.
Now,
never mind.
You don't fall through. You're still there, right? But now, there's now multiple planks. You felt your foot go through it, broke, and oh, geez, and you're holding on strong. And so there's probably about 4 planks that are broken now. 3 of them.
How far am I from the other side?
Just halfway. Those planks break halfway.
What I'm going to do actually is just the plank before the one that cracks.
Yeah.
I'm going to cast the light spell again on that, so that whoever comes next can see. I'll just turn back and say, "Where's the light comes from? There is a break," and carry on.
Okay.
So the whole bridge should be illuminated now. It should be sort of dark on the other side, or darker on each side. Don't know how long the
Alright.
bridge is, but lights spell.
You know, there's enough light now that you can see that there are some. There's possibly looks like there's a bridge overhead, about 30 feet up, or no, actually probably about 20 feet up, right? It's actually going across right near the middle, right? So there's the shadowy edges of other rope work and bridges seems to appear here
Okay.
around this area, right? So there seems to be a web work of things around.
So it's a lot more bridges than we thought. As I keep moving forward towards the other side.
And yeah, you make it now to the other side. It was just that one incident.
I got
Who's next?
nearly shies into my pants.
All right. Right. I'll go next.
I want to say after, if I don't know if you said that out loud, but if you did and Tonic heard it, he's going to give you like a disgust look and then just step away.
Said nearly. Okay. Oliver doesn't care. He's standing by a bench, shaking still.
Oh yes. If,
you can see your, it's illuminated now in the middle. You can see, as per Oliver, as identified, where the breaks are. You start making your way across. Evangeline, Tonic, Oliver, you're on the other side. Tonic, you actually hear the cat. It's somewhere off, a little bit beyond you in the mist, along this kind of weird, tumbled down, rocky, I would say stonework, not rocky, this crumbling stonework area where you're at. And you're gonna have to sort of half climb some stairs. You're a little bit tilted. You to kind of get to where you think the cat is, maybe slightly above you. That's actually kind of where it is. Evangeline, the angle of this is a little hard to get your balance. You have to be careful. You can tell that this the stonework here has all sorts of strange carvings. By the way, now there's a little bit more light coming through, especially with Oliver. And you hear the cat, but the cat's not meowing, right? So you can't actually understand what it's saying. Now the cat is, it's kind of mimicking the sounds that the creatures make, these dog, pig things.
I know.
I'm gonna ask, why is it making that noise?
And it sort of pauses, and you hear it meowing towards you. Meow. I am asking for permission for you to be here.
Oh, continue, please.
I am also apologizing for the damage you and your litter mates have done.
They are most certainly not my litter mates, but I appreciate it all the same.
Meow. And so, Dyvas, give me a DC 10 dexterity save. Okay, no problem. Because, unfortunately, just past where you're walking, just another one of these things cracks. Yeah, you can feel the rope loosening. Feel the shock of it snapping. By the way, what do you have? How is this rope that Evangeline has brought across? Like, how is this exactly set up? How are you all using this rope? Like, how does this work?
We've tied
did
it
not
across
use
to
it.
Oliver's waist.
I have no idea what was happening.
I imagine it like a guide. So from
Mhm.
across this other side, Eve tied it off, and whoever's last, which is
Uh-huh.
I guess me, is holding it taut.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also think what would be smart is that once we're all across, once we're all across, uh, well, most of us, is that we all hold onto the rope in case it does break, so we can use our weight to counterbalance his weight, and we can pull him up.
Yeah,
I think that would
that's
be
a good
that'd be
idea.
the smart thing to do.
Yep, and also if Braegar's holding onto the rope and he falls, we can be an anchor.
Yeah,
Or we can all get pulled down with him, one or the
yeah.
It
other.
is
Togetherness.
tied to a rock, right?
Yes, it's kind of tied to a broken column.
Yeah.
That's so okay. All right, Dips, you've made it across. I mean, there's no problem with you. Just the bridge is somewhat deteriorating. Okay. Braegar.
Braegar's gonna tie the rope around his waist, and then start making his way across. I'm gonna walk wide, Kai, so my weight isn't pressing in the middle of each platform. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm like, set your foot closer to the edges, if not even the sort of rope foundation on the bottom that attaches the planks. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not putting all my weight in the center of a fragile ass plank. You know?
Okay. Very good. All right, you start making your way across. Obviously, you have a fair amount of light at the center of the bridge. You know where it's broken. You notice enough light for you to see where the first break was, the one that Tonic broke, and you are slowly kind of making your way across. Right? It's not. You can't just. You're putting your feet wide. I don't think it's as. You can't just run across
I'll
easily.
take my time.
Okay. Right. Roll me a DC. I'm gonna call it a DC 10 dexterity save, because you guys have the rope. You're being careful about where you're placing your feet. All right, no problem. You feel that you can hear the snapping, like some of the ropes that are using pieces of the rope that are sort of making a cross, creating a structure along the side. You hear them snap as here and there as you walk across. You can feel that the main sort of guide ropes they're becoming unfurled. Right, you can feel the tension decrease. You can feel the whole bridge like sort of drop 2-3 inches as you make your way across, and the part of the rope is deteriorating. You do make it across without any issues. Having your feet, as you said, you place them, definitely prevents you from snapping any of the boards. And as a matter of fact, with that, the different side of shifting of the rope, you have total control of it. Otherwise, you're absolutely ready for anything to happen, and you make your way over without any major incidents. Besides recognizing and feeling the slack of the rope like increase, and hearing the rope snap behind you or seeing it sort of break down where you step.
And as I'm
And so
going
you're all on
across,
the other
Kai,
side now.
I'm pulling the rope. So if something were to happen, I would only stop at that section of the rope. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't fall
Instead of falling.
the full distance of the rope. Yeah.
Yes. Good point. Because even if you're tied to a rope, if you fall 30 feet on a rope and you slam against the side of a rocky outcropping, it will hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so you guys make it across without any further incident, but you can tell that this bridge has been damaged. What extent of the damage there is, you don't know.
I look
Unless
around and
you
say,
want to take time and investigate it while you're crossing it.
hopefully we don't have to come back this way. I look around and say, one bridge down, several hundred to go.
Next time, walk wide on the bridge.
Okay.
Tonic
Take the lights.
he's just gonna keep moving.
Put the light spell back on my bridge.
Excuse me. And so you end up having to walk up this sort of tilted, tumbling stairway. Right, so you're gonna make your way and keep your balance. So some of the rocks are sliding down the stairway and falling off the edge. Little pieces of pebbles and bits and pieces of stone that chip off. You get yourself up to a landing, so to speak, of the stairs. It's slightly angled, but you gotta keep your balance. And the cat is there with 4 of these things.
I'm gonna say to the entire
they are-
party, do not attack them. He is negotiating our passage.
Step back, eyes wide, shaking. Which is German.
Okay, you got this.
You see these lanky sort of things. They're looking at you, and in the light of Oliver's spell, you see that their eyes also have that animalistic reflection, right? That the black glow, that light reflected from the back of the iris, it glows red. Their heads shift. And he points at you. One of them has. They're all sort of dressed in strange sort of scraps of clothing. Now you're looking at it. They're not necessarily fully naked. Some of these have, maybe it was some maybe torn pantaloons or some sort of torn pants or maybe a kilt. We're not sure what exactly or where it's from. It's decaying and like rotting fabrics that they happen to be wearing. Some sort of bone jewelry. Also, there is one of them that is holding some kind of staff that's been tied together clearly from bones. And and has a skull on top. It is wearing some kind of jewelry and different chains, verdigris, greenish chains, other things, rings on its fingers. And it's shaking its staff at the cat. Staff of bones, whatever it is. And the cat turns around and says, "Meow. Yes, they are. We'll let you pass, but they wish for your litter to pay for pain and damages, or the hurt to the tribe. We must speak with Advenia. She will help us."
Okay.
But we will need an offering.
Do we all
What-
understand what he's saying, or is this purely Tonic?
This is back and forth between Tonic and the cat.
Okay.
All you hear is a cat meowing and snarling, and then you hear Tonic equivalently doing the same thing.
Yeah, and I will of course relay all this, basically saying that they're gonna allow us passage. However, they would like us to pay for the damages of what we did earlier, and apparently we need some sort of sacrifice.
Tithe?
I look back at the cat, like a live sacrifice, or is this something that I can go, hunt and kill real quick, or is it like money or something? I hold up Jacko. Will this do? Oh, side note, Oliver. I don't know what your passive perception is, but
It's not good.
it's okay. Well, I guess it makes sense. As I take out Jacko is my homunculi, and he's not your stereotypical homunculi, since I'm an alchemist, artificer, and I kind of went the culinary route. This homunculi is actually made out of organic food, and what you basically see is not a gigantic, a tiny, adorable little pumpkin guy, but his head is like swollen. It's basically a jack-o'-lantern style head, and it's his head looks swollen, rotten. You can see like black pus kind of leaking out, and he has like this dark pearl as a belly button. And although he looks absolutely terrifying, I also want to say like there's probably like a little ichor worm kind of going in and out of his like orifices of his head. But as terrifying as he looks, he also just has this little aura, like he couldn't be any happier to be here. Like he's just
So
like
just promise me if you do sacrifice him that rather than stabbing or anything, you'll be smashing him.
I mean, you can eat him.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if we're going to sacrifice him, it might as well be a smashing pumpkin.
Dun-dun-dunch.
Yeah. But that I hold out Jacko, and he's kind of like, yeah, pick me. I'm like, well, let's do.
Oliver, could you please roll me a DC 10 horror check? Just a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, that one.
At
Oh,
seeing this animated lolling
Little
pumpkin.
pumpkins,
Mm.
don't mean shit to me.
Who, you're like,
I'm very
okay. I mean,
cool
you've
with
seen
little
magic.
pumpkins.
Let me see if I can. Okay, Jacko.
So,
Oh my God.
Oliver, obviously, you've seen some things, and you know that magic exists, regardless of what the rest of your citizens think. But the momentary enhanced sensation of being in this place and seeing this animated pumpkin with this wide, rotting grin, eyes lolling at you. Just sends a little shiver down your spine, but you just shake it off.
Ugh.
And the cat's like, no, not like that. They'll want to trade for something. Something they can use. We will have to talk further. And, the whatever the one of these creatures, it has the staff, it's all the jewelry, like points, staff at Evangeline. He points the staff at Braegar. And he sort of lopes over, like a very simian way. He taps the staff at shield that Evangeline had. The cat turns to you and says, he likes that hideous, terrible, offensive shield your litter mate is carrying. Meow.
Oh, okay.
Come. And perhaps that is what you should consider as an offering.
Which one of my litter mates is actually carrying that?
That's Evangeline.
I hear
Angeline.
I said I'm not hearing that. I hear meow meow.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say, Angeline, your shield. You're not really attached to that, right?
No. I mean, I guess not. If it gets us out of here, hell no, take it.
All right, and I promptly pick it up from you, and I'm going to walk over and offer it to them.
The thing, as it approaches you, right, your stench of it is overwhelming. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just an animal stench. It's like a grave stench, like the stench of roadkill, bloated, rotting. Piece of meat left outside in the hot summer days of Montlieu. Starts sniffing it. Grabs it, and it holds it up and it looks at the tassels that are at the bottom of this crazy, strange-looking shield. And the tassels are these shrunken heads. Flicks them. Claws. Disgusting claws. These long, dirty, blackened nails. Sharp, sort of almost like broken off at the end. Shakes its head and turns to the cat. And the cat flicked its tail and says, he seems satisfied. Meow. For now.
Well,
Come along.
let's not be here when he decides to not be.
And the one that's got this, who's taken the shield, starts walking away, and the cat says, "Come follow." And in this case, the you're gonna follow a slanted pathway. It looks like it must have been maybe a broader room or closet or something. And it's out probably about a 5-degree angle, 5 to 10-degree angle. It's cracked and broken, so there's different parts of it at odd angles. As you make your way across, so you have to be careful not to slip. These things seem to be able to lope around easily as they move on 2 feet, 4 feet. This one mostly on 2 feet with the staff. You hear that staff clacking against the stonework. The stonework has all sorts of strange symbols and designs on it. I suppose a bit like that, yes. Oliver. And you get, you probably go about 60 feet to the end of this, and then there are what's essentially a boulder fall, right? I.e., it's there's like a pathway between what's like almost a 30-degree angled hill, I suppose, right? And what it is just massive block. Like imagine the pyramid blocks of an Aztec pyramid, but if you just broke them all up like Lego blocks and tumbled them down, right? And so these thing starts moving down, right? And the cat just starts leaping, and you can kind of tell there's kind of a pathway that you can take, but it looks daunting. And by the way, the other 3 creatures that were there, they're behind everyone. They're sort of as a rear guard.
Would like to turn to Tonic
In there.
and say, "Oh, sorry, I was going to finish."
Go ahead.
Oliver turns to Tonic, says, "You can speak with this cat, right?"
Wouldn't it be crazy if I could and I just was leading everyone to like nowhere?
Yeah, that would be.
But
But
yes.
can you? Ah, right. It's just, and he looks around, sort of still awestruck. Do they know what this place was?
Oh, let's see. If I recall correctly, as I'm assuming we're all walking and Tonic begins to tap his cheek. Something about we are in the in-between. We are not in the mortal realm and we're not quite in the spirit realm. And
Yeah,
we're
but
not
this particular building place.
Oh,
This
no, I didn't.
particular place.
No, I didn't ask because I wasn't planning on really staying here.
No, but could you ask?
Mm,
Seems like with the mural we've seen, it might be important.
you want to give me a gold coin?
No.
Oh, well, then I don't want to ask. You can't get something for
You-
nothing.
Oh, I feel like this is extortion, but alright. I fish around in my purse and give him, or pouch and give him a gold coin.
I say, what you call extortion, I call agreeing to provide a service. I asked the
Very
cat,
well.
do you mind telling my friend, not my friend, my associate wishes to know exactly what this place is.
You mean
Balls.
here? This meow? What is around us? Oh, I guess it has many names and no names. It is an ancient place. These people have been here a very long time. They are the children of Mordigian. They came from beyond the in-between. But not from your world. From somewhere else. Very long ago. But time does not matter here. Time here is no time. Or is all time. It's hard to explain. There are bits and pieces of where they came from. You can read it. I think they had a king once. Yes. Well, his lineage still rules here. I believe it is King... Oh, it's so hard to say these weird human words. Iquaquaquo.
I relay this verbatim to Oliver.
Oh. So, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And so, you carefully make your way down this, basically this boulder fall. And as you make your way down, by the way, it's also clear to you, I should say, that these things, they don't like the light. The light spell that's been cast on the different objects are very, very
Worth noting.
they're trying to stay away from the light. You can sort of almost see they turn away, or they try and put their hands above. It's too bright. And so the ones behind you sort of stay away, a little further back from you, probably far away from the light. The one ahead is moving quite quickly. To say that the ones who were with you, it's clear that one of them has a weapon. They have an axe with some kind of tied together bone haft to it. You get down towards this, tumbled down. Eventually, must take you like 15 minutes because you're carefully, right? You're being very careful trying to get down as you slip all the time. You're trying to figure out a way to climb over a boulder and climb back down. The stench of the place gets worse and worse the further down you go. You're not sure how far down you've gone, but it feels that by the time you're at the bottom, the top of where you came from, a 15 to 20 minute walk, is lost in the mists. Yeah. And you see before you here, again, up above you have no idea how high above you there is, but there, as you were coming down and getting closer to the bottom, you started seeing stonework, pieces of, it must be stone buildings, 1, maybe 2 stories, or at least columns. And it opens up into this plaza of sorts, and tumbled, broken plaza, like if you took a flat sheet of rock and you just dropped it on the ground, it just cracked the different facets of the cracks just ended up at very odd angles. So none of this seems like an easy, straightforward pathway. Everything is very, very challenging to walk. And there are ruins of broken buildings, partial 1-story or 2-story stone structure. If that could have been it, there's 1 or 2 of them. Again, this looks like to you, Dyvas, this could have been pieces lopped off of certain structures that you have heard about, seen drawings of. Maybe you perhaps visited deep in the wilderness of your homeland. And there are huts down here. They seem to be made of some kind of organic material that's different from the stone. I mean, I wouldn't call it wood necessarily, but partially wood, partially other stuff. I mean, it's hard to tell. It's because of the fog everywhere, and there is another group of these things that is at the bottom of this incline that meets you. The ornately dressed one clangs his staff on the bottom and screams out in some weird language, snorts and mumbling what language that they seem to speak, snarling. It's really indecipherable. It's animalistic. And they part for you. And the cat's just kind of walking up along with this strangely dressed one with the staff, and on and off, because there's a lot of noise now, right? You can hear a lot of these things shouting, so forth and so on. It's hard to tell, but Tonic, you can definitely know that the cat is speaking to it in its whatever kind of animalistic language these things speak. And so you, start moving forward, and off at a distance, you kind of start hearing some strange screams. I don't say screams, sounds, sort of weird, high-pitched, shouting or mewling, or you're not really quite sure what that is. And none of you actually know what's happening. But the cat's up ahead, and the things just, these things are moving with you. Now they've kind of surrounded you, actually. Now you realize this kind of moved forward. The group that parted and allowed the, let's say for simple census, whatever, shaman or whatever this leader is, pass and bring the group around. Well, now they've sort of been, there's probably about a dozen of these things kind of walking along with you. And you could tell that between the huts and sort of these shattered, sort of tumbled buildings, some of these huts are actually made of broken stone. These things are sort of looking out these makeshift windows or out the doorways as you pass. There's, just along this narrow, not narrow, it's like a plaza that has these buildings set up haphazardly everywhere, right? There must be dozens and dozens of these things down here. Who knows how many there are. And at some point, you get closer to the awful sound of things, and the mists diminish a bit down here. There is a set of stone rope and wooden pens. That must be what it is. Those are livestock pens, aren't they? And there's out of something comes sniffling out towards the edge of the fencing of these pens that you start. You just reach sort of the edge of them. Everyone, please roll me a actually a horror check. I'm going to say that this is a DC 15 wisdom saving throw.
I'm still gonna fail this. All right.
Well,
Where's that table? I just want to see it. I can't find it.
So which
Anyone know where the...
what category is this? Oh, okay. The table was in rules. Ravenloft rules. Under horror, fear, madness.
Ravenloft rules. FG.
So what do I roll for that
I
again?
don't-
I forget.
It is mechanically a DC 15 wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So wisdom.
In the journal, Charles, it's if you go to the Ravenloft rules, then
Rules,
the subfolder in there called horror, fear, and madness.
I don't... Magic.
You can't see it?
It must be near the boss.
No, it's right in the middle. It's right in the middle. It's 5e mods from
Magic.
Darker Dungeons. It's just above magic.
Ah, found it, sorry. Dread conditions. Horror check. Thank you.
Which category of check is this, Kai?
So, let me take a look here real quick. And what do we consider this thing that you have passed and or failed? This is... And so as we're speaking, what you see is that crawling in utter filth in these pens are... The first thing you see is a dirty, like a dirty, mud-covered white face. It's the thing is the uncanny valley part of it, because it looks like a face that could have been human at some point, but it is utterly changed. Eyes are drooping. It's sort of nose is too big in the wrong way. The mouth is too wide. The eyes are too small and deep set and too narrowly set. It's covered in sort of shaggy hair, and there's definitely growth in hair sparsely crawl over its face, and it gives off this horrible high-pitched sound. And then more of these things come crawling along all four limbs, and their backs are bent and their limbs are too small. But what is that? And they start... I mean, yeah, I suppose this is a supernatural, because this is kind of like a body horror thing, but it's not really in this exactly. So I suppose it's not isolation, it's not helplessness, it's not a self check, it's a freakish weird thing. So I suppose it has to fall supernatural.
And if you fail, you add a number, right? So if I was on
if
7,
you-
I would go to 8.
Yeah. So no, if you fail, you have to note that you've got a failure, right? So just put like a F supernatural check for failure.
I've got like 5 failures on Supernatural at this point.
Ooh, that's not good, because come on, man, this seems to be a little slow. But if you have 5, I think up to 5 failures. When you hit 5 failures, you might have a start getting insanities. So
Checks failed
Yeah,
max
like-
5.
actual madness. So in terms of a dread tracker, I mean, I think if you didn't already have, some of you I think were having issues before, right? But if you haven't had any previous within just the last, these while you've been down here, if you were disturbed, you move to spooked. If you're spooked, you're moved to afraid. If you're afraid, you're up to staggered. Right? If you see the dread
So do you
conditions.
start on 0?
For what?
On a well, I mean, there are levels, aren't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah.
6, 7.
Of dread track, yeah, you start on 0. So if you didn't have anything, you were disturbed, right? So if you didn't
Right.
fail any previous checks during
I
this
did last week.
this particular,
Or last time.
yeah. So if you did,
or
maybe you're
unless
spooked.
then we'd also discuss that if your backstory had something in it,
Yeah, that's what I.
you can adjust
Thought, yeah.
to that.
Well, okay, okay. I guess I'm. There's two things. We're talking about the horror check categories and triggers, so sort of the tracking of the category. So yeah, I've always said is, depending on your backstory, you may already be hardened to certain things. Yeah. So you may be already hardened, for example, to, you spent a month in jail. Well, you know what? You are hardened up to an equivalent of a level 5 helplessness check, if that's what you're talking about, right? Because you've already had that experience, so you're hardened to it.
Yeah.
If you've been
how does
institutionalized
that
by someone you
apply?
love and trust.
So how would that apply here, for example? Sorry,
Well,
I keep
back-
saying, "Oh, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
I'll understand it later." So I might as well understand it now. Sorry.
Okay, so sorry about that. So that, for example, in your background, I don't even talk about it, but if you told me that you are, say, you are definitely hardened up to a level 5 supernatural check. So
I think I was level 4
so-
or something, yeah.
you are immune to horror checks equal or lower than the number of possess. Right? So if I said, you know what, this is actually a level 5 kind of supernatural, then you don't
Right.
have to make a check. You are
So
it
what
is-
would this be?
I would say this is a 6. See an animal with human features.
Right.
That's what this
Okay.
is. See an animal with human features.
So that would. I
Or
don't have that, so
a
I
human
failed. So I would now be on 5, but I'm pretty sure I had one next week, so that would be 2 fails.
Okay, yeah, so then you have 2 fails, right? And so then you are, in terms of again, this is kind of like tracking what categories you've passed and failed horror checks, because this is a way in which it's one way to track whether you have any kind of permanent, madness.
So
but in this
on my
case,
sheet-
you are.
On my sheet,
So
I've
on
got
your
under
sheet,
supernatural 2 fails and 6 hardened now. Because I was
Well, then-
I was at
no,
4
you
when
said-
I started.
Okay, no. Then if you were 4 where you started, you're still at 4, right? You're at 4, and now you have 2 failures.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
So you don't put the hardened
If
up
you
when you
originally-
fail. You just leave it as it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you succeed, you would put it up. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, that's
Right,
exactly what
right,
happens.
Okay, so the other way around.
When you
Cool, thank you.
succeed, mark off the lowest level of a hardened notch. So that even if next time I said it's an 8, you see a graveyard full of dead rise, and you pass that check, you're not immune to 8.
You know,
just
no,
now
yeah.
You go up to 5 now, right?
To the next
So
one.
that's what that-
Yeah. Okay, I think I understand it. Thank you.
Okay. Also for Nick, that's right how that works. And so in this case, because within a very short period of time, we're going to imagine that you've failed 2 checks, then you are currently spooked, right? Your dread condition level is spooked. Cannot approach the source of dread, disadvantage on ability checks, or the dread source is within line of sight. So while you're seeing these, what must be, I don't know, they're either like pigs that had been turned to humans, or
Right.
humans that have been sort of turning into swine. You don't know. This is horrifying.
Yeah, I'd imagine it was the humans into pigs, because then they'll end up like the others. But where do I keep track of horror levels? Is there anywhere in
You should-
particular, or do I just find a sheet on?
No, I
notes or something?
because that's not built in. You know how you have the little boxes you can use for
Yeah, I just can't
resources?
see hunger. Oh, resources, so equipment.
Yeah, just put it like like an extra new resource. Just put dread level. Put 2.
Okay, right, I see. Thank you.
I put them in the core,
So-
Charles. On the lower right-hand
Yeah.
box called effects and
Right.
conditions.
Yeah, that's where I put the supernatural and stuff. So put dread horror or horror level there. Okay, thank you.
So what I've done is I've gotten in Supernatural 2 levels are hardened, and I've now got 5 failures. So last
Yeah,
time around I
okay.
got staggered, and then Braegar sort of slapped me back to sensibility. But now I'm panicked, so it just means I'm going to stay as far away from these creatures as possible. Right?
Yeah.
And hang on, so
it's-
it's not a general horror level. It's dependent on the category.
All right, in the category.
Is
Yeah,
that right?
I got 5 failures. I think
Yeah,
that's
So
how it
I've
works.
got 2 failures in that category. So as far as supernatural goes, my horror level is spooked. Yeah.
Yeah, because you failed those 2 within a in
Right.
game
So
time.
what I mean is, it's specific to supernatural, not a general thing. Okay.
No. The dread level is whenever you fail. Like you could fail a helplessness check and a violence check within like an hour, and then this is cumulative, right? For each one of those, each time you fail, you climb up the dread conditions ladder.
Yes, the dread conditions
so-
ladder applies generally to the character, not to simply their supernatural checks
No.
or whatever the category is. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's a
anytime
general
you
thing.
fail anytime you fail any horror check in any category within a short period of time, right? I mean, things wear off, but within like an hour or 2,
Okay.
you're just going to keep on raising the dread level so that you have these
Cool.
extra conditions. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
got
the
it.
same with anybody
Thank
else. So I know we have a little bit of mechanics, but the thing is that, from Nick, Dyvas, Braegar, and Oliver, right? You have failed. So all of you at some have failed a supernatural check, and please categorize that, and then consider, if you didn't mark it before, use the little small resources boxes to notice your dread level, right? So some of you just might be disturbed, I think, or spooked, right? But you're panicked, right? So Dyvas, you're panicked because now you're really freaking out. So you took the dash action and you kind of started running backwards, and stumbled back against the rear guard, and they're looking at you. Right, they're in your face with their horrible, charnel breath, and you feel the sweat and your heart pumping. And these things, they start, I don't know, I wouldn't call it screaming. It's kind of a kind of crazy, like high-pitched sound that
Kind of
little
hyena
kids make.
cackle kind of thing.
Hmm?
Okay. Yep. I was wondering if it was like a hyena cackle, but okay.
No, it's like the sound, it's like that terrible high-pitched sound that small children can
Yep.
make when they scream really high. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
what-
like that. That's kind of,
I
they
know
all
it.
start, whole bunch of them start coming together and screaming like that. They're all different sizes that you see inside these pens, and they're all doing that all around you. So and you can see that there are, how should I call this? The dread level. The dread level might go away depending on what scared you. Might go away after an hour, right? Maybe after half a, it depends on the source of the
Okay,
fear. Okay.
thank you.
So in this case, I'm just gonna say, because of the shortened period of time, this all happened with 2 or 3 hours. Like, you're still on the tail edge of being edgy about everything, and so it's still affecting for the moment. Just for cinematic sense, but it'll go away eventually. You won't get you don't have to you won't necessarily take a dread fear check of seeing, if you see the source again later on, like, you don't have to take it every time you see zombies because you've seen zombies. You had to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's not the immediate shock like the first time. Anyway,
Gotcha.
so they're sort of, they start pushing you, Dyvas things, and the cat turns around and goes, "Oh, meow. Come, hurry. We have things to do. Don't mind the livestock." Meow.
I don't, and I keep following.
But if you did fail, you're definitely disturbed, right? So
Yeah,
you don't want to
yeah.
get any close. So anyone who's I mean, just to everyone, right? You don't want to get any closer to these goddamn pens. And
I'm not scared, but I still don't want to get closer. Ugh.
It's clear that there's some of these these dog pig things. They're pulling and grabbing some of one of them was grabbing one of these creatures out of the pens. Maybe that's why they started screaming. Saw you, you kind of look around. You're kind of shocked at everything that's kind of horrible that's happening. You see on the other side of these pens, by the way, the refuse and the mud or the waste of these pens that runs straight into the pathways where you're walking. There is you hear a high-pitched squeal as you kind of see some of these being roped off and pulled off to your right. You hear more screaming, and then it stops. It's not too hard to see that there is essentially a butcher's little hovel next to this, and you see one of these things being pulled, and anyone who was paying attention would have seen it being hit in the side of the head with what's essentially a sledgehammer, dropping to the ground, it being pulled up and dressed and cleaned. I mean, you might turn away when you kind of realize that's what's happening. It's overwhelming, the stench here, and whatever the heck is going on here is you don't understand. But what's worse is just beyond this, you pass what must be these makeshift wooden, stone single-story huts, kind of long. They have a open, simple stone window. It's just an opening. There's nothing fancy about it, and you can see that there's meat hanging in them somehow, ropes or hooks. It's a terrible stench. It's rotting meat. It's rotting limbs. Something truly terrible. I'll make it part and parcel of this entire experience, that last dread check. It doesn't make any sense, but you do remember that the last time you saw these things, they were down, or whatever these things, something similar to these things, because you certainly didn't see anything that's organized. They were down in the catacomb. It reminds you, some of you, fleeing in the catacombs after the night of the disappeared, making your way out of your first experience with the mists. And you remember there was the stench down there. I mean, Eve, you remember the smell, right? This is a stench of rotting flesh. Maybe there's a whiff of these things. I mean, there was that city guard who kept on saying that he saw things in the shadows that were pursuing you through the half-submerged catacombs.
Oh, this doesn't sound good.
And so you continue down. It's just like now it gets like narrow because all these hovels and huts. I mean, I would say it's built like these makeshift things that you're walking through, leading you through some from one sort of narrow alley full of buildings, and then it opens up to another space, and eventually you're going to pass what's clearly some sort of almost temple. Maybe it's makeshift something. It looks like it's some kind of altar, mini temple. Again, it's another open plaza. This pillars of bones and skulls on it, and pieces of rotting flesh. I mean, there's no flies or anything down here necessarily, but there's some kind of insects, right? You don't know what they are crawling over it. Again, this as you pass it by, the cat says, "We are not far now from Advenia's home."
Oh, thank Ezra.
I'm gonna just tell everyone not much further.
Okay, and then you still sort of have this group, and eventually you will get to a kind of a larger, maybe two-story stone building, and the leader, shaman, whatever this is, knocks on the makeshift wooden wrap doorway, and you'll hear some of this meeping, mewling, weird sounds that come from these creatures. The door opens, and you see one of these creatures, except not quite. Creature's face isn't as animalistic. It doesn't have quite the snout. It's a little bit shorter. Cheek structure in its mouth is just a little less big dog. A little slightly more human. As long blackish hair that is pasted against its face. Down, it's unkempt. But this creature is wearing a dress.
And
And
Tonic's gonna. Oh, sorry. I'll wait till you're done with the scene.
yeah, so just quickly, this dress is a faded, old. It's clean and remarkable because everything here is filthy. This dress is clean. It's no doubt that it once must have been. Anyone has an eye for this. Perhaps I think Tonic would. Perhaps even Eve, a kind of ball gown or something. But Does
Pretty.
anyone have a proficiency in history?
I
do
have.
not.
I do.
Okay, Dyvas, what strikes you about this? I mean, everything here is disconcerting, but that looks like something out of a museum. Essentially, it really does look like out of the university museum, because this looks like the dress of de Montlieu, or something like this, right? From the I won't say de Montlieu, from the civilized Crescent, but hundreds of years old, maybe two to 3 centuries. Like you've seen mannequins having this kind of historical period pieces in a museum, and this creature, which is less ugly than the rest of them, and this is a little bit, stands up a bit straighter. It says in a very strangely accented and what must be very archaic High de Montlouise. Come in.
I think he's asking us to come in.
Yes. Yes. Do we go?
Do we have
Doors
anywhere
open,
else to go?
and Shaman thing steps away. I'm sorry, Tonic, you were going to say.
I was gonna ask the cat if there's any way that I guess the shaman can actually help Herbie.
Oh, he
What's his affliction?
Meow. I will ask. But he'll probably want to trade something. Either that or he'll want to taste some memories. But that wouldn't be good for any of you. Meow. And he starts meowing to, actually gibbering to this creature in the dress, and a bit, and says, "I will speak with him, but I believe Advenia will be able to help you with your directions. But I have some things to speak with. As you said, the shaman. Some trades we have to make. Business, you see. And it sweeps along your legs, purring and rubbing itself. It jumps up a little bit and scratches your legs a bit.
I'm going to say this is highly inappropriate to do this in front of people. You should know better. I am flattered, but please do stop.
I'll be back. Meow. Have fun. Actually, it doesn't have fun. That's a kind of a. It's meow.
I was gonna say, what the heck is that
Enjoy
supposed to mean?
yourselves. Oh, Advenia has many interesting things to say. She is the only one down here who can speak with all of your littermates. She has not completely become. It's a shame. It's a shame. Meow. And it kind of peeps out the door.
Okay. I guess I would
Or actually
relay.
leaps away from the door.
I would relay all the information that he gave me to the party, and we need to go speak with the shaman, correct? Or is it he's going to go speak with the shaman?
Well, there's the creature in the dress, at least a female-ish looking creature, who, I mean, you can surmise that this must be Advenia,
Okay.
what the person the cat keeps on referring to. And excuse me, sorry. And as you walk into the place, right, there's still these creatures still linger outside, again, this sort of troop following. And this, I guess, woman in a dress comes in. I mean, walks ahead of you, right, through the doorway. And as you do that, you see this quickly. This place is sparsely. This place is kind of Spartan. It's not Spartan, but it's kind of Spartan in the way it's set up. At least this opening area. You should walk down a simple sort of hallway, and then it opens up to something a little bit more elaborate. Number one, there's this long, ancient oak table. Looks like it must have been very ornately lacquered before. There's a whole, like a jumble full of all sorts of things, right? Trains, there's books and knickknacks and stuff all over. So the entry hallway seemed quite blank and uninteresting, and it's suddenly kind of an explosion of sort of rococo knickknacks everywhere. And also you hear a sudden shout and cries moment, as you sort of all of you in, because at the end of this sort of collection of stuff, there seems to be some kind of cage, and well, lo and behold, there seem to be two dirty, disheveled, and bloody aristocrats in there, and just when you walk in, and you're not this creature's kind of silence. Within a couple of seconds, the aristocrats rattle the bars on their cages and hide among Louise. You oh, in the name of the God, let us out! Let us out!
Oh, human beings. Can we help them?
They're barely human. Why would you want to waste your time and dirty your hands?
Humans are barely human.
Let us out!
They talk like humans. They look like humans.
They are less than. They pretend to be.
I mean,
We only paid the
I don't know how
tithe
gullible he
for
is.
our group.
But we must tie, no? Is there not something? I'll look at the woman who we're supposed to. The Anna Kalana? Anakin. What's her name? Or its name? Their name?
Tonic kept on saying a name, Advenia.
Yeah. And he pointed at which one it was, right?
Yes, I would.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll say in hide Louise. Excuse me, why do you have them? Is there some way we could help them return too?
And she looks at you.
I'll try not to throw
And
up.
it sounds like she's trying to process what you've said. And and she speaks in a high Demont, but it is there was a popular De Montlouis playwright. It is considered a classic playwright. Playwright, and also in terms of Lamortia knows also De Montlouis opera, and you might have had some, let's say, a theater troupe come in through your town once when you were younger, and they probably would have put on bits and pieces of these playwrights, some of these De Montlouis playwrights plays, or maybe some of the opera pieces, short little chunks of it, and it sounds like this. The woman sounds like she speaks in an extremely archaic,
like Shakespeare.
high De Montlouis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you speaketh of them. They have come, and they shall stay. No! You shall quiet thy tongue, lest we cut it out.
I assume he's talking to the aristocrat,
Talking.
not me.
Yeah, to the people in the cage now. She's like, and so you have cometh to speaketh with me, that we may find a way to pay, that you may pay, for you wish to go home through the gates.
Yep,
Yes.
that is exactly why we are here. And I look at Oliver and I say, and no other reason.
And I look at Tonic and say, I will ask if it is okay. You are not my master. But they have
No.
already told me it is not okay. I will not push the matter.
I'm not gonna die because of you or anyone else here.
That remains to be seen.
And she turns to you, Tonic, and says, Tuarine has spoken for you that you are seeking exit, and that you have things to bargain with. Which is
That is
good.
correct.
I am surprised you and your companions have found the grace of Tuarine. It is good that she has come many, I would say years, but time does not pass here as it passes elsewhere. But it is long since I have seen her, or since I have seen fresh breeding stock. Come. As she turns towards the cage.
I'm gonna gesture for Oliver to go after that last comment. Come on,
She
go
gestures.
ahead.
What she said. What she?
Breeding
hang on.
stock, you heard her.
Sorry. What is it that she is indicating? Dungeon Master. What do I understand that she is indicating? I don't get
She
it.
just said it's a long time since she's seen whoever this,
Oh,
Good breeding stock. She wants you to get in there and do the deed with her. Come on.
Well,
up.
do
no,
you-
I mean, she just
No,
says it's a long time since she's seen Tuarine, whoever the heck that is, since she has seen anyone pass by, or since they have received any new breeding stock in a very
Yeah.
matter of fact, unpleasant way, which
Yep.
as that clicks in anybody's head, it is probably worth another horror check.
Yep. I'm gonna just go ahead, gesture Oliver. By all means.
Just ignore him.
Okay, so she doesn't turn
I
towards
wanted to
you,
ask
right?
her
She,
something, but
the head
Yeah,
she's
no, I get
clearly
what she's saying.
indicating the
Hey,
cage,
I
right?
saved.
Just to make that sure. Yeah. So,
so now,
everyone, like,
because I saved, supernatural was it, or
I would
violence,
actually say that's like
helplessness?
I think it's a helplessness check. I would be like, I mean, you're not helpless, but I get the sense of
What level, Kai?
of helplessness. Man, I guess that's like I'll call it a 4. It's not happening to you, but it's kind of you're realizing what it means, and it sounds horrifying. So yeah, it's a level 4.
So if you're
Is
that
if
is
you've
that
got
for
5
everyone?
on helplessness?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone it'll click what possibly what this creature's suggesting. If you're listening,
Intentions are,
because it's,
yeah.
yeah.
So if you're hardened to 5, do you do the check still on helplessness?
Nope. If you're hardened to a helplessness of 5, I'll say no. Right? That's it. If you actually harden at level 5, no check is needed. You automatically pass. You're just that's terrible. But
so I got an 11. Did I pass?
I'm gonna say that you're very freaked out by this. So I would say what dread level were you at?
I think 2.
2. Okay, so now you're. I would say that you're afraid, right? Now you're sort of looking around at these things, and they're even worse than what you realize, and sort of all crashing down on you. What kind of, horrific, inhuman things these are, and you are afraid. So you have a cumulative that you are. You cannot approach the source of dread, so you don't want to get any closer to any of these things. You have a disadvantage on ability checks while you're surrounded by these, dog, pig monsters, these ghoulish things. And you also have disadvantage on attack rolls because these things are now really chilling you, like you are afraid for your life. Even though the cat, you've been able to get safe passage, you're kind of consider what whatever was going on here is utterly frightening.
Okay.
That sounds sensible?
Yeah.
Okay. But by the way, just like I probably should have said this before, but I Road 20 came up with some new little tools. So I don't know if you guys can see. There's like a little deck down there that's possibly included for everyone. Yeah, that's a safety tools deck. So it's one of those new things for like RPGs. Like if you if you have to choose, you'll see that there's here, and the X is like stop that. The you have a rewind the scene, you have a pause the scene, you have a fast forward, you have a redo the scene. So there's a couple little things here you can, if you,
Wait, so if we miss something, we can make you repeat it 10 times. I mean, just ask you to repeat it for us.
Yeah, 10 times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, if like we're playing a scene and you're not.
Oh, by the way, what was the name of that leader of the king of the first people of the Ika?
Yeah. Okay. So I have
What
to
was it?
pronounce it correctly. Hold on a second.
No, that's right. I'm only trying to get you to say it so I can rewind after time.
Ixaquixoquatl? No, it's
I've got it as Ikaquahwo.
yeah. It's in the notes above already, but I'll put it in the I'll put it back in the notes again.
Oh wow. Ika.
Ikwa. Shahwa. Yeah, I think it's a Shah. Like Ikwa Shahwa.
That's it.
Shahwa. Yeah.
Ika Shahwa. Something like that.
Yeah.
Let's just call him Iggy.
Icky. Let's call him Icky. King Icky.
Yeah.
Icky Vicky. Ew, that's what exactly popped into my head. Icky Vicky from Fairly Odd Parents.
Okay. Guys, just give me 1 minute. I actually want to get a little bit, a quick something to drink because I don't have enough. I ran out of my coffee. And then kind of think what you're gonna do now. What are you gonna do? Can everyone hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Yep, can hear you.
Oh,
Alright.
great.
So I'm gonna have to get off in like, what is that, 40 minutes? Because I got family things I gotta go get ready to go do. So that's just a little bit of a heads up.
Okay. Good heads up. Thank you. No worries.
Hmm?
Okay. So I'm sorry. Was anyone going to do anything after that sort of statement or anything? This
I wanted
creature.
to ask Advenia, do you know how I got here? How we got here?
Jesus. Sometimes, cracks open, and people fall in. Sometimes doors open, and things come through. It is unusual for She sort of sniffs in the air. Creatures like you to make your way through. I knoweth not what hath happened, but I know and see this. And she points at Braegar, him, and her. They are marked. They are marked. Do you not see it? Do you not smell it?
Marked with
Tonic's going to eye the two of them carefully. He's not going to really say anything because I guess he does it all. He also does not want to be potentially outed. But he still
What
looks
do you
at them
mean?
fiercely.
What's mark of what?
How? You cannot see. Seeth you cannot. It is clear. The other world. They have walked through the mists before. And they have come to the edge of... this place has many names. But the other worlds have reached out to them. The in-between has reached out to them. The mists have reached out to them and have touched them.
I'm just overwhelmed. I don't know what's that mean, but the lady, she seems normal, nice, good. The other one is
Tonic's gonna say strong.
You seem very frightened, Tonic. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I just want to leave.
We have a source of information in case we were to fall somewhere like this again.
I do not intend to fall here again.
Did you intend to fall here in the first place?
No, and that's the entire point.
Yes, it is. Well, if there's nothing more specific you can say, I thank you for your answers.
If you did not pass through a gate, or call forth something that should let you walk through here, you are not dreamers. That I can tell. Sometimes in dreams. When slumber covers thee at night, there are dreamers who can step through the gauntlet and come and wander the other world. You are not them. Something broke through. A door was opened, but not a gate. That must be how you came here. Did you call forth?
Did not, and I'll turn to the others who don't speak Eidemondese and say, did anyone call us here? She says there are dreamers who can get here, and that the gates could have been opened if someone summoned it. Any
We
of you
fell through
summon
a
it?
floor.
Yeah, me too. So, no, we did not summon it.
And whispering while this is happening, that the two aristocrats. It's actually probably three of them. It's probably like two males and a female. Like, help us out of this madness. This is a nightmare. How are you talking to that thing?
Desperately trying not to look at them and try not to cry because he knows there's nothing to do for them.
And there's definitely some crying and whimpering inside the cage. You see that the Advenia grabs essentially she reaches over like near the table and sort of like notices like a bowl of some kind of something awful smelling. The stench down here is already terrible. It's really hard. Now your facultatory senses are overwhelmed with the awfulness. Grab something, it looks like some sort of sloughing piece of chunk of, I guess it's flesh or something. It's green and moldy. And throws it into the cage. Turns around and says, eat, little pets, eat. You must be hungry. It is
My face.
your destiny. You have the blood. She screams, you have the blood. It floweth in you. You will join us. Stop crying. You know not the wonders that lay before you. She cackles and then turns to you. I'm sorry. Forgiveth me. Distracted I am. Back where we were, yes. Well, you are not dreamers, and you shall not awaken. We must find the key to one of the gates. You will have to walk back through the gauntlet to the other side. Back where you came from, if you can find it. Some are lost and never return home.
We could use a map.
Yes. Key and map. Yes. Well, we will have... I do not have those, but I know where to find them, you see. The key was lost. The silver key that would open the gates. There are many here, many gates here in this place. The peoples who built this place built many keys. It was the wisdom of Mordigian that allowed them to find not only the dream gates, but the gates between worlds, the gates to here, that which lies betweeneth the worlds. But the key was lost. The son of the king, he was taken. I do not know how long ago. I have lost count of days. But the spider people, they took him and the key. We have set many raids there, but we have not been able to recover it. And the map. Oh. The map is in the fungal forest with the Zooks. They have not accepted our offerings. They refused to bargain. But maybe you will be more successful. For it is the gate with the key and the map that will lead you out of here.
I'll basically repeat that to everyone else. So we may need to go up the spider place and find a key in the map. And I've turned my back to the aristocrats by now, and there is a tear you can see as he wipes it away.
Kai, do I
The map
recognize
with the
any
key.
of the aristocrats from up in the auction?
Any of the what?
People in the
Oh,
pens
the-
as people from up in the auction?
Oh, they must. Roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
Okay, it is no doubt that the pieces of clothing that you found previously, and the broken shoe, and I think it was like a sort of the outer dress matches these people. So these must be the same number one. They're definitely aristocrats that must have been running away from the remnants of where the auction landed. But it's the same. It clearly is connected to the trail that you had been following. So these must be definitely them.
Kai, remember I had put something into one of the aristocrats' pockets?
Yes.
One of the items from the auction? Are one of these people that person?
No, because I think that was actually a guard that you put it in. One of the.
I don't think
like
so. I think
footmen.
I just put it in a person's. Because the guards weren't in the room yet, you know?
Oh no! Remember they were.
It was during the darkness.
Wasn't the auction guards?
When
I see. So you put it somewhere. Okay, you didn't. Yeah, you didn't see where you put it, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I put it in a
see.
person, you know.
Okay, I just revealed a piece of information. Sorry. These aren't the people. You don't know because it was dark, right? You didn't see.
Yeah.
I mean, you could ask them to empty their pockets or do something, but if you didn't see them, then you don't know.
I would like to just walk up and just reach into the pen and just start frisking them. I will help you.
Yes.
I start saying shit like that, you know?
Yes, okay. They're desperate. They come up to you. Please help us. These creatures. Oh, where are we? They're crying and screaming and totally out of their minds. It's clear that they've lost it, right? None of them, their minds have snapped, so to speak, from all this stress.
Empty your pockets.
They just start they start emptying their pockets, taking whatever's left of their jewelry, throwing it at you. Please, we'll give you anything, get us out of here. Oh God, I am the daughter of the Duchess of House Remelaw. Riches, I'll shower you with riches, please. Get me out of here! No, me, my father. My father is. I am the son of a Augustus.
Kai,
Augustus Branshaw. He's a magnate.
After I collect the items, I'm going to start writing these names down. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah,
you,
so
and you are.
Yeah, and you have collected a fair amount of leftover, of jewelry, of what you assume to be pretty exquisite quality. You got a silver necklace, and a bunch of rings and gold. Some I wouldn't call it gold coins, but paper money, right? Because this is a place that probably or some kind of coins or IOUs or the equivalent thereof. So there's definitely some wealth that they've just dropped, whatever they have, just give you. This is my wedding ring. Please find my wife. Tell her I'm. And all sorts of sad stories and desperate attempts for cries for help. And but not the thing you're looking for, though.
God damn it. All right, after I'm done with all of them, I'm going to close the book and say I will see what I can do. And I'll walk to the rest of the party.
Having a change of heart, Braegar.
Perhaps.
I would roll an insight on that. Can I say Tonic is growing tired of all this? I guess what seems like to him at this point, not really a lecture, but it's more like oh great, we have to go do more things to get us out of here. So I think he's gonna kind of do a thing where he excuses himself, because he's been walking and been in this situation for a good little while, and he needs to air out what quotation. So he's gonna step outside, and he's gonna, he's not gonna stray too far, obviously, but he's just gonna step outside and look around to make sure no one is kind of looking at him, and he's gonna take off his hat, and he's going to kind of feel like his hair is kind of damp, and he's just gonna kind of let his head air out, shake it a little bit, just kind of let out a sigh, take it all in, put his hat back on, adjust his belt, and he's gonna step back inside.
Okay. Centered yourself a bit, right? The sort of trembling that you were feeling, the shaking, having a trouble controlling.
It was that, and then the other thing was just it was just really hot up under the hat. It's kind of one of those things where I don't know, where how you're I guess when it's too humid or something like that, and I don't know, it's you just need to, how can I put it? Out and whatever, and you put it back on. It's kind of like that. It was just very humid under the hat, so he wanted to just kind of air it out for a second.
Do you do this very stealthily? Do you close the door behind you?
Yeah. He's he makes sure that he's alone or something like that, unless someone is discreetly trying to spy on him and see what he's doing. But that's what Tonic would be doing.
Okay. Outside is still these retinue of. They're still. Outside the building.
I don't think Tonic would be too concerned about them. Yeah. And on top of that, no one can understand them except for the cat.
Yep.
So it's not a super huge concern. But as far as the other party members, he would just do his best to be discreet about it.
Yeah, no problem. And that is Tonic this just walks outside abruptly, at some point, and leaves, goes out of this cluttered, crazy room, and out this sort of turns a corner and goes out. And this Advenia goes, do not wander too far. We don't want you getting lost in here. Not all of them. Not all of us know that you are guests.
I'm not going too far.
Well, and she sort of looks. She gets up. She looks at Eve. She gives you a hard stare. She sniffs the air with her semi-doggish, piggish snout. Nose, actually. She's want to get a nose. Not the full-blown jaw quite yet for whatever reason. So they're a bit more delicate. Although her eyes still have are definitely more like the creatures and that of humans, but they're sharp and perceptive. And they're calm. I'm like, you are interesting. And she sniffs a bit animal-like, right? Well, I'm we will have to if you are ready for this, then we may speak. I can tell you some things of the spider people. We have, or at least ask. I have myself never tried to raid their lair, but others have. They may know things I do not. But the key is essential, for we will not be able to open the gates without it. And so she goes, and she says, come upstairs. And you can see that there's a stairway that is opposite the adjacent corner away from where the cage is. It says, if you so wish, I may need to find what you some things you may need up in my library. You may wait here, or you can join me if you wish. And she just abruptly gets up and starts walking towards the stone stairs. By the way, this place, again, it's all full of knickknacks and strange things. Anyone who is proficient in Arcana will recognize that there is a menagerie of things here that could be used for magic.
Okay.
Like components or
like it looks like kind of strange jars and containers, and there's some paper where there's like piles of vellum. There's clearly a writing, maybe like a writing desk here, and this is like a hodgepodge of archaic looking things. Dyvas, again, this looks like there's a hodgepodge of furniture from a multitude of centuries across the civilized crescent. Like, you're a pretty educated guy. You've been to a lot of different museums and been to a lot of different homes. I mean, you see what looks like like it could be a piece of 2-century-old Lemordian style, very stark cupboard. And there, this is a very extensive Rococo looking. The table itself is just like, it's clearly used to be gilded and has extensive carvings on it. It must be some older de Montlouis piece. And on top of all that are jars full of components and weird things. And it looks like there's some kind of astrolabe and bones, hanging from the ceiling. And there's some arcane mysticism going on in here.
Does the furniture actually look like it's in good condition, or does it look like somebody may have just crashed here and then repurposed?
Yeah, like it's like like none of the stuff is broken. Like the furniture looks worn. I mean, there might be looks like there's some things that need to be repaired, but they seem to be in good condition considering what the rest of this place looks like.
Seems odd that you would have people bring in their furniture and fineries to this place willingly.
Oh, no. Sometimes we find it. Sometimes go look at it.
You go looking. Okay.
Well,
Through the
not always
gates. Through the gates you mentioned.
Yes. Through the doorways. You would be surprised where you can go. Where the dreamlands reach. When and where. We are in the land of in-between. It touches all things, and all things touch it.
Could you change the past, perhaps?
Boom. Past is like now, as if the past is as a map. Time is as a map. It stands still here. All the roads and paths lead out. You can go to one time and another. It's like crossing through a land. Can you change a forest?
You could cut down all the
There
trees.
is no time. One could. But then all things would change. So yes, I suppose one could change the past. If there were such a thing. Past, present, future. Those ideas are quaint.
Fascinating. You see Dyvas pull out a notebook, write a few notes, and it's often the one that you saw him writing notes when he first joined the party.
She brings you up to, I mean, if you're following her, right, if you're talking and walking and talking, go up the stairs, and then you're going to see the second floor of this. And again, this is a makeshift stone house built out of blocks. This place itself is rough in terms of the general structure. And there were probably some columns that are holding up the second floor properly. But the second part of it is, again, it's about the same size as the bottom. It's, kind of humongous space. But it is lined, just piles of books and scrolls. And then there's a sort of cabinet that has desiccated heads. A like a bookshelf almost, right? A cabinet, and that just has like a, multiple rows of I wouldn't call them shrunken, but sort of desiccated, mummified heads. So whoever went upstairs, the smell of an old library of vellum and old paper, of dusty scrolls, is redolent in here.
Can I read the titles on any of the books?
Yeah, if you start strolling through this, like the stacks, right? This is very organized. Some of these there's some bookshelves, and some of these, it feels like you're walking through a, what do you call it? Oh, I lose the name. Those people who can't stop collecting stuff.
Hoarders.
It's like a hoarder. Right. There's just stuff everywhere. right? And as she's walking up, she's like, "You'll find many interesting things here. Telleth me you speaketh us, since you speaketh de Montlouise, how goes the king? Is the kingdom flourishing? Are we yet ruling the civilized crescent?" Or is the upstart Lemordia and Ricoban still scrabbling for power?
I don't think I speak whatever she's speaking.
She speaks this super stilted, very difficult to understand. It is High de Montlouise, right? I mean, and it's the only thing she'll speak.
Yeah, I
So
don't
she asks that to anyone, but it's very hard to understand. And you will see some titles in de Montlouise. It's difficult because you see what you recognize must be Ricoban, must be Barovian, not Barovian, Borkin. But then there's all sorts of things. You pick up a scroll, it's some sort of strange symbol language. Maybe it looks like the type of stuff that you would see in Roku sloths, but you're not really sure. There's things that look like vellum pieces, some kind of parchment paper. You're not sure. It's more like a fiber, right? I.e., it's papyrus with some kind of crazy symbol sets on. But she's like, "Be careful. Some of these things are quite old. They are not eternal. Please, please." Ah, here it is. And she sort of takes some books off some stacks, and there's a table in the center here. With an archaic globe on it. And she takes this big giant book out. She drops it on the floor. She opens up to a page. She says, "Here, this is the key. This is what you seek."
Before that, I look at or as this is happening, I look at Eve and say, "Why does she refer to you as we?"
All right, guys. I gotta get going, guys. I will see y'all next time.
No, okay, we'll end it here. I'm just gonna say that she opens up the book, and then what you see is this unusual, crazy, strange, I should say, like a drawing. You can't quite put your finger on it, and she says a couple of words, and she seems to like sort of create move her hands across the page. And then it's like, and then suddenly, very much like a classic de Montlouise thing, like a three-dimensional illusion pops up from the page. It glows blue and green, and it's like a bunch of symbols go up, and then suddenly you see this three-dimensional object, right? On like some archaic arcane technology. You don't know what you're looking at. That is what you must find, and we'll end the scene there. That is today's episode.
Okay.
And I turn to Oliver and I just shrug like, "Oh."
Okay.
Au revoir.
Awesome. All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
Kai.
Kai. Nice.